Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, all my books will appear. So my show today is about a couple of words everyone says to you, but I'm wondering if you're taking it to heart. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned. I'll be right back after the break. All right, here it is. To act. That's my theme for today. Because just like you, I hear about the most amazing dreams and plans and ideas from very capable people who never do anything to make those dreams come true. It's from a quote I heard from Maxwell Maltz. Often the difference between a successful person and a failure is not one's better abilities or ideas, but the courage that one has to bet on his ideas, to take a calculated risk, and to act. I love that. Listen, I know it's gotten so repetitive with a few of my friends that I don't really enjoy going out with them because just like last time, the whole conversation is about their new building, their new program, their new book idea, and yet here we are year after year, they're still talking and nothing's being done. Oh, a few of them have drawings on a napkin they can sketch out to show you that they're working on the project. Still, I've come to believe it's just a Band-Aid to cover up the nitty-gritty work that never gets done because, I don't know, a million excuses that they constantly tell me to justify the work they're not willing to do. Yes, they're still talking, but talking doesn't build the building, write the book, or interest others enough to join in their campaign. Rare is the person who actually does the work and finds and takes the extra hours to create an opportunity for their success. In fact, it is so rare that when they complete their project, they're already on to the next phase of their dreams. They forego the fanfare of the first completion because successful people know that taking a calculated risk and acting on their idea is the key to success and a long list of achievements they've sketched out for themselves. To act. Tell me, what is it that you're still talking about and not doing? What action is next on your to-do list? Listen, I get it. I write about this topic a lot, but the truth is that almost everyone I know has a problem with to act, the completion part of the equation. We've all got ideas, concepts, even drawings, and for the most part, they sit neatly organized in our to-do piles, and they're still collecting dust months, years, and in some cases, decades later. Listen. It's hard to move mountains until that is all you have to do because you've lost everything else. I can recall the first time I read the quote from J.K. Rowling of the Harry Potter fame. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Wow. Her quote struck me simply because, although I probably don't know many people who are truly at rock bottom, I've seen a few begin to slip. However, due to the kindness of strangers and the community, they've been given a lifeline. I'm fortunate to tell you I've never hit rock bottom, and I'm grateful for that. Perhaps I felt like I was close to it a time or two, but to be truly alone with nothing and no one, with no options, is not a place most of us have experienced in our lifetime. Granted, many of our friends and even family members might have experienced that depth of pain, but for the most part, if we're honest, most people do have a place to go. Whether they want to go is another matter. I'm not here to talk about semantics on this issue. My point is simply this. Even at rock bottom, when you have the courage that one has to bet on his ideas, to take a calculated risk, and to act, you're still in the game of life. And since the game's afoot, stop worrying, stop belly aching, set aside your fear, and take a look around and get your bearings and dust off that dream or opportunity and begin again for the second, third, or 16th time. Let me take a quick rabbit trail that changed my mind about physical poverty and action. A while back, I was in Bangladesh as an election observer. This has been many years ago, and I was in a hotel that had limited water and occasional electricity, where the lock on my hotel door was a hook and eye. We were in the boondocks, as we say in America. My Bangladeshi guide, who himself seemed taken aback that we were so far in the countryside, warned me that the little black things in the showers, well, those were leeches. So be careful, i.e. wear your shower shoes. But what was interesting, every morning I would walk down the stairs to meet my team for breakfast, and on the landing of the third floor stairway, there was a window that looked out onto a community pond that was used for various purposes and was slowly draining due to evaporation and usage. I happened to notice that early every morning there was a young man there washing in the shrinking, muddy pond that was used by the villagers for bathing, brushing their teeth, and whatever else. Most mornings I would watch as he would step into the water, and with his hand he would make a circular motion that would, within a minute or two, push the water lilies away from the edge of the water so he and others could use the spot for personal care before they went to their daily work. I gotta tell you, I was transfixed by the surreal nature of what I was witnessing while watching him early every morning. The poverty, the overgrown organic beauty, the filthy water, and then the loveliness of the lilies. Between the marketplace where we bought some bedding, because I swear a camel had slept in my executive third floor room, and where sewage leaked down the wall, to the women who were bent over with the weight of hemp stalks that they were taking to market, to finding a few things we could eat since it had to be peeled, bagged, fried, or bottled. I saw poverty as I have rarely seen, and friends, I've been everywhere around the world. And yet, I also saw the courageous action of these amazing people displayed by pressing on daily, because life offered them no other choice. In the midst of what I would consider rock bottom, I also saw the joy of the Bangladeshi people as they saw their thumbs painted purple to show that they had voted, many for the first time in their lives. They would stand in line for hours to make a difference in their country. This was life-changing for me to observe. They truly embodied the heart of my theme today, that often the difference between a successful person and a failure is not one's better ability or ideas, but the courage that one has to bet on his idea, to take a calculated risk, and to act. On my worst day, I and you are rich beyond measure. I have opportunity. I have or can find all I need to pull myself up by my bootstraps, and you do too, my friend. And it has nothing to do with our ability or ideas. It has everything to do with our courage, our calculated risk, and our willingness to act. Let me tell you a quick story. Growing up, I had a housekeeper named Annabelle, who I loved. And every week when I would drive Annabelle home, she would joke with me about how poor she was. And yet I dropped her off at a cute home with running water, furniture, a roof, a vegetable garden, and a giant TV. She had a refrigerator filled with food, an air conditioner for the heat of the Carolina summer, and a heater for the winter. She didn't know poor. She only thought she did. And when I showed her pictures of people living in cemeteries in Egypt because they had no homes, children sleeping under the stars in hammocks in Sri Lanka, she couldn't comprehend the photos. And while she had all kinds of earthly goods and her family provided well for her, she had a good job with us, it paid well, she would look at my photos and simply hum in amazement that people live that way. I meet people who think it might be easier if everything were taken off their plate so they could focus on being successful. Hey friend, if you can't do it within the time you already have, I'm not sure that being given the freedom of nothingness would make you successful then. Within time, no doubt, there would be a new excuse as to why you didn't get your dream, project, or purpose finished promptly. You see, it's not about time. It's about action. A while back, I wrote about cleaning out our lives from the junk that we're hoarding mentally, physically, in the attic, the garage, or spare bedroom. Many of my readers wrote that it was just the act of doing a Saturday cleanup that made them feel better, lighter, a bit less daunted about cleaning up other areas within their home and life. Just acting on an idea that had been planted in their mind and then working through to success gave them a new chance to fix an old nagging problem that had been waiting for action. You know, there's something about making new or renewing a space that was once cluttered that now allows the light to shine, which then allows for a lift of one's spirit, and all because you took the time to act. I'm sure someone's written a great book about how small and large changes influences the outcomes for the next project. For me, I just know it works, and I am a believer in living lighter. And then I have space and peace for my next calculated, risky, grand adventure. So friend, back to my theme of to act. Consider this week what big or small project or opportunity is waiting for you to accomplish, and then sketch out a route for success. Because as the author of today's theme, Maxwell Maltz, has reminded all of us, often the difference between a successful person and a failure is not one's better abilities or ideas, but the courage that one has to bet on his ideas, to take a calculated risk, and to act. Have to say, once again, I love this theme. I love it because I know it's true. It's true in my own life. It's true in the life of my friends. And I can tell you pretty much without a doubt, it'll be true for you. But friends, you got to go to work. It's not going to happen overnight. Nobody's going to do it for you. I am re-recording this podcast a number of years later from when I first recorded. And now in the blog sphere, which everybody is talking, you keep hearing the line, nobody is coming to save you. Friends, you got to do it yourself. And I can only admit that it's only going to happen when you put a plan in place and you act. And here's what I'm hoping you will do. I hope you will make the appointment to act to join me next week, because I've got another show that will give you the tools that you need to make your life better. Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve all good things. And I am here to help you on that journey to find your place in space so you will thrive. And just remember, Deb doesn't care what the world says about you. I care about you. And I care about you because I believe if you will act, take action, starting today, make a plan, get it done, make the time to do what's required, friend, you'll be able to do bigger things in your life. And here's my promise, I'm going to walk alongside you as we follow your dream together. All right, thanks for joining me. It's been Deb Sofield's encouragement for your life. Join me next week. Let's continue this journey. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.